Good morning, YouTube. Today I want to talk about why giving up my 20-year career in software to become a YouTuber was both the best and worst decision of my life.
So are you recording all of the nefarious activities?
If you're new to the channel, my name is Dan, this is my garage, and this channel is all about the supercar ownership experience. And one of the questions I get asked a lot about is how I became a YouTuber, and I kind of want to talk about why that was both awesome and horrible at the same time. But before we do that, just real quick, the way I support this channel and keep it running is through my website, normalguysupercar.com. There I sell parts for supercars and I also sell services, so if you need any of those things, go check it out. It's normalguysupercar.com. I really appreciate when you guys do that. It literally is my job to do those things. Thank you for supporting me and keeping this channel going. So over the past month or two, I've picked up a decent number of subscribers talking about this CNC story. And so I kind of want to discuss some of the things that some of you might not know about me. So the first thing I want to talk about is I had a career in software prior to becoming a YouTuber, and that career was over 20 years long, and it was very successful. I was a pretty good programmer, and then I turned into a manager, and then I ended up being the chief technology officer. So I ran the full gamut of everything in software, from literally writing code to managing lots of people to being a part of the business side of things. But along with that, I've always had an entrepreneurial spirit in me. So even though I was in the software field, I pretty much only worked for startups. Compared to a lot of traditional software careers, I probably didn't make as much money as I could have working for some of the big companies. We kind of jokingly call it the golden handcuffs. You know, if you go work for one of the big software companies, they pay you a lot of money sometimes and you have a lot of really good benefits. But working for startups, it's a bit different. The startups I worked for, of them, only one was really successful. The rest had some success, some of them did not have success, including the last one I worked for. That one I got laid off from, so we'll get to that in a second. So the weird thing is that my software career wasn't really my first choice of career when I was going to college. So I actually wanted to go work on cars. I was such a gearhead as a kid. I loved cars, I loved working on them, I loved playing with anything mechanical. And so I thought for sure that's what I wanted to do with my life. And so when I went to college, I initially went as a mechanical engineering student, but then, well, I started realizing how much calculus was involved and how it was basically just math all day, and I decided I didn't really want to do that anymore. And that was right around 1998 or so when the internet was really taking off. It was before the dot-com crazy burst and all that stuff. I started kind of looking into writing software and eventually decided to change majors into software because I really enjoyed it. And again, that kind of stems from some of that entrepreneurial spirit. At the time, it was kind of like the Wild West of business. You know, people were going out, starting new companies and making millions of dollars and all sorts of crazy stuff. And I thought, you know, I kind of want to be a part of that. So that's how I got into software. And like I said, it was a very good career. In fact, those of you who are interested in software, I really think that's an amazing career for a lot of people. It's a hard job. Like, writing software is very stressful because everyone thinks it's easy because you just sit there at a desk and you know, you have to think all day, but it's really difficult, it's very competitive, and to be very good at it, you have to eat, breathe, sleep, everything software. Like, you really have to be immersed in it. After quite a few years, I worked my way up into management positions, so I started managing teams, and then eventually I became a chief technology officer, so I was helping run the business side of things from the technology aspect. And that really kind of solidified my desire to get into the business side of things and start producing these companies and really becoming an entrepreneur on my own. A little over 5 years ago, I bought my first Ferrari by Ferrari F430. And when I bought that car, I thought, you know, I really wanted to work on it myself again because of my background with cars. And I thought it'd be kind of cool to document working on the car because at that time on YouTube, there was almost no one doing that. There's very few videos on YouTube about how to work on a Ferrari F430. In fact, when I wanted to do my first oil change, I looked for videos on it and I couldn't find any. When I was a kid and my brother and I were kids, we actually made some videos for fun.
All right. Bob, come on, we're out in 30 seconds.
I'll be out in just a minute.
All right, hurry up.
Okay.
What are you doing?
I'm sorry, sweetie, but you know I got a show to do. I gotta go. I'm sorry. I'll make it up to you tonight, baby, okay?
How's it going, guys?
How's it going, everybody? Welcome to What's Your Beef and Stuff.
This is our 6th episode of the show.
6?
Or
Look how slow What's Your Beef is rotating around my head.
whoa. it's stuck. It's stuck in a time warp. It's stuck. It can't get out.
Never really took it very seriously, but so I had some skills in video editing from back in the day. And so I decided, you know what, let's make some videos. After a few videos, I did my oil change video and totally screwed it up, made a huge mess. And that video went kind of viral at the time. So it got a couple 100,000 views really quickly. It was published in some articles on, I think, like Jalopnik and the DuPont Registry. And so that kind of really kick-started my channel. And at the time, again, I was still working on software. I thought, you know, if I can grow the YouTube channel to be 10, 20,000 subscribers in 4 or 5 years, it would make maybe enough money to help pay for the car. And that was the original goal. I never really thought, hey, let's turn this into a business. I didn't really put much into it thinking that this was what I wanted to do for a living. So eventually, after quite a few years, I'm in my software career, I'm working for this company that I started, and the CEO that I hired laid me off. And so that kind of threw my whole world into a tailspin, and I kind of had to figure out, what am I gonna do with my career? And at that point, I was a little bit disillusioned with working for other people and working for other companies, because that was very frustrating. I helped create this company, then I get laid off. So I said, you know what, I wonder if there's something I can do, be on my own and run my own company. And as fate would have it, one of the great things that I was able to do during my software career is I built up a network of friends, wealthy individuals or investors and things like that. I actually reached out to one of my friends and I went to him initially to talk about doing another software company, and we started talking about YouTube stuff. I don't know how or why, but he got really interested in what I was doing on YouTube, and I think it's partly because he also did some YouTube videos and actually made some viral videos.
Dude, I'm so excited for South by.
Are you doing South by this year? Let's go Longhorns!
Want to try my cinnamon kale homebrew? It's dry hot!
After a big discussion about the YouTube stuff, he said, I think you have something there. You should pursue that as a business, and I want to invest in that. And I'll be honest, I had no intentions of starting a YouTube like exclusive company or a YouTube company at that point in time. He gave me some pretty amazing terms on the deal. So he bought into my company, which admittedly at that point wasn't even a company. I had to literally go form a company in order to do that, because like I said, I had no plan to have this be a thing. So I had to scramble to form a company. He became an investor. And basically the agreement we had was he wanted to pay me the bare minimum amount of money that I thought possible to sustain a reasonable living. So I had to sit there and really look at all my bills, get it down to the absolute minimum and say, this is how much I needed per year in order to just barely survive. And that's what he agreed. We would say a 2-year runway at that rate. And so that's how much money he invested in me. And it was very tough because, believe me, the amount of money I went from very nice, great lifestyle, could pretty much spend it on whatever I wanted to and still had tons of money for savings. And now I'm squeaking by. It reminded me of being in college again, where you've got to like penny pinch to go afford going out to pick up some Taco Bell. After doing that for over a year, it didn't look like the YouTube itself was going to make money. And that was the problem. I had focused really hard on just trying to make videos. And I thought, okay, I'm just going to make videos and the YouTube channel will grow. And unfortunately, that's not really how YouTube works. YouTube rewards drama. So if you want proof of that, just go through my video history and look at the view counts, and you'll see that there's what I consider like my core videos, the videos I like, the videos I'm proud of. A lot of those are DIY videos or interesting videos like where we go into an event. Those videos don't generally get the highest number of views. In fact, they almost always don't get the highest number of views. The ones that get tons of views are things about drama. So those are kind of the growth videos. So when you have a YouTube channel, you have to sit there and think, these are videos that are going to grow my channel. These are videos that are for my core audience who just appreciate what I'm doing. My core subscribers are going to watch these videos because they like me, they like the channel, they like what it's about. These videos over here are going to grow my channel because new people who have not seen my videos are going to see some sort of salacious topic and say, that looks really interesting, and then they might subscribe and continue to watch my other videos. Now, the reason I say all that is because this is where the bad and good of becoming a YouTuber starts to come in play. When I had a software career, my paychecks were pretty reliable. and they were pretty big. So that aspect of it was very nice. The stress of the job was difficult. You had the normal business bureaucracy and all that sort of stuff to deal with, and let's be real, managing people is actually very difficult because you get a wide array of personalities, and your job is to help make sure that your employees are effective. But on the plus side of that, you kind of know that your paycheck's not going to bounce. I mean, assuming you're working for at least a reasonably steady company. Granted, now some of the startups I worked for did have some sketchy moments where I wasn't entirely sure that my paychecks would actually clear, but they did. I never once had a paycheck bounce. I got really lucky because in that 20-year career, I was only laid off once. Now that I'm a YouTuber, there's no real safety net except for myself. That aspect of it is very nerve-wracking. Like, if I don't produce enough sales in a month to pay myself, I don't get paid. So that investment money that I got from my investor it's gone now. We used it to grow the channel, to grow the business. I am at the mercy of you guys buying my products or watching my videos or doing all sorts of things like that for me to generate income. That aspect of it is really stressful. But you'll find that most entrepreneurs will admit that there's a few things that are really important to have success when you create a business. Obviously, you have to have the right idea. You have to have the right motivation. And I'm gonna argue it's beyond motivation. You have to be passionate. The thing I found about most really successful entrepreneurs is that they are very passionate about what they're trying to do. They just believe in it, and so they work extraordinarily hard. And I'm not talking like a 40-hour work week. I'm talking like the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed every day. And that's kind of where I'm at. This is what I do every day. The moment I wake up to the moment I go to bed, I work on this. There's obviously also a huge component of luck. To dismiss that is kind of dishonest because every single entrepreneur had some degree of luck. Now, you can help increase your luck by being a hard worker, by doing things that position yourself in the right way, or by having the skills that you've developed over many years. Those increase your luck, but ultimately it still takes a degree of luck. Like me meeting my investor and him wanting to invest in this thing was very lucky. Had that not happened, I don't know that today I would be sitting here in front of a camera talking to you about my business, because it probably wouldn't have happened. It took that sort of luck. There's a weird saying in business when you start it up that people say you have to burn the ships.
It's because you haven't committed yourself where you would burn your boats. If you want to take the fucking island, burn your fucking boats, and you will take the island, because people, when they're going to either die or succeed, tend to succeed.
And what they mean by that is you have to make it so that you have no other choice but to succeed. Now, obviously that is a huge gamble, but there's some point when you create a business that you have to do this. You have to say, I'm all in. This is everything, and I'm going to go for it. No matter what, I have to succeed. And I'll tell you, when that mindset hits, it's like a light switch flipping in your brain, and you realize you are going to do everything in your being to make sure that you succeed. There was that moment for me, and it was probably a little over a year ago. So once we kind of used up most of this investment money, and I was kind of sitting there thinking, we're not gonna make it, I'm not gonna be able to pay myself, I gotta find another way to make money. Otherwise, this whole thing is not gonna work, and I'm gonna have to go back to software. Well, that thing was selling products and services through my website, because I realized that made a lot of sense. I had developed all of these skills, and people kept asking me for advice about what should I buy and what should I do and this and that. And I realized there's money there. That's what I need to do. And so it took a lot of effort. It kind of was a pivot in the business strategy, and suddenly that started working really quickly. And I realized this is what I need to be doing, and so that's where I'm at today. That's why I now offer these products and services. That's why I have the website, normalguysupercar.com. That's why I don't look at the videos necessarily as the end game. Yes, I obviously want my channel to grow, and I would love to have millions of subscribers. But that's the thing, is I'm not a huge drama guy. You've seen my videos, you know that I don't run around trying to intentionally get the cops to chase me, or blowing cars up, or just silly things. That's not my channel. That's not what I'm about. I like things to be consistent. I like things to be more adult. That's what this channel is. It's more designed for adults. That's also very intentional, because by catering to the adults out there, and I'm not saying that kids don't watch my channel, because I clearly have had kids say that they watch my channel, but it's oriented towards adults for a reason. The adults are the ones that have these cars. There's not too many children driving Ferraris. So those are the people who ultimately buy the products and services I have. It makes sense that I cater to those people's interests. Now, back to the original topic of this, why is that both the best and worst thing that's happened to me? Well, it is extraordinarily stressful to be on your own, to be going into a business that you're not entirely sure is going to succeed, and not necessarily knowing that you're going to have a paycheck every month. It's been really tough. It's taken tons of money, lots of investment, lots of time, ridiculous amounts of work, and there's no guarantee that any of this is going to succeed. I think it's got a pretty good chance at this point in time. If you asked me a year ago what my chances of success were, I'd say it's probably less than 50% a year ago. Whereas today, I think it's greater than 50%. I think it's actually somewhere in the 80 to 90% range. This is going to be a sustaining business, and this will provide me with a reasonable income within a couple of years. Again, another negative of it is I still make kind of the base amount of money I need possible to sustain life. That was fine and dandy when it was just me and Meg, but well, we've got a kid on the way, so obviously we're starting to think, oh boy, we've got a lot of incoming expenses that we didn't have before, such as childcare and education costs and all those sorts of things. Obviously, I'm like, hey, we need to find ways to improve our income. So I'm thinking of ways to do that, and I obviously am pushing the business in that direction. There's no one else to do it but me. And that's one of the huge challenges I have, is I have to do everything on my own. I don't have anyone else to help me because I simply can't afford to hire anyone at this point in time. All the website stuff, all the filming, all the editing, all the phone calls, the support, the consultations, all of that comes to me. My time is spread very thin. And that's part of why I kind of diversified and got involved with Gated 6 and now with the Garage Queen, because those are opportunities that diversify my ability to produce income, but aren't taking a full amount of effort from me. Like, I don't have to spend a full 100 hours a week working on those things to make them successful. I can spend some time on it between tasks within the work that I'm doing now for normal guy. My day consists of doing 50 different things. I'm constantly time boxing my efforts into very specific tasks. I say, okay, from this time to this time, I need to do this. And then after that, I need to do this task. I need to work on the Garage Queen. I need to go work on Gated 6. I need to answer orders. I need to make these phone calls. And I gotta produce a video. So as you can imagine, that means my time is very valuable to me. That's part of why when people ask for free advice, I unfortunately can't anymore, because I simply can't afford to be on the phone for an hour talking to someone when I'm not making money. I apologize that that's kind of how it is now. I know that that's made a few people mad at me. They think, oh, you're all greedy now, you're doing it for the money. Well, it's like, you do your job for money too. Like, I don't come ask you to do your job for free, so it's not fair for you to come ask me to do my job for free. Most people get it and they appreciate that. Obviously, there's lots of questions people have that are more specific about the details of the business side, and I love to talk about this sort of stuff. So if you want to see more videos of me talking about the business, I know I've kind of kept it very transparent. I'll talk to you about how much money the business makes. So I want to do that very soon, because the outlook for revenue of this company this year compared to last year is so dramatically different. It's like you're not even looking at the same things. I absolutely want to show that information and kind of be transparent with you moving forward, even as the company starts to get more and more success. Now, obviously, I'm not going to do that for my other companies. I'm not going to do that for Gated 6. I'm not going to do that for the Garage Queen, because that's not what those companies are about. This company, I think people find it very interesting because, well, it's an unusual company. Being a YouTuber is very unusual, and it's got a lot of questions. So a few other kind of pluses and minuses about being a YouTuber. I will say one of the really cool things is that I am my own boss, and so I do get to do what I want to do when I want to do it. So I have a lot of flexibility to do the things I want to do. In fact, I can find ways to turn them into videos, and I can even kind of pay myself to do these things that I want to do. This car is basically my company's car. My company's paying for the car. It actually ends up being not as expensive as you'd think, because I get to write it down on some of my taxes. When I work on this car, I pay for it out of the company's money, because I don't drive this car for myself. I drive it for my videos. It is literally my company car. You've got some negatives, like you have to deal with the negativity you get in the comments. You know, every single day someone is going to insult you and say something horrible about you. It's just a fact of being a YouTuber. Every day you will be told horrible things. And everyone says, well, just ignore it. But here's the problem with that. You can't if you're going to read comments. When you read comments, you don't know whether the comment is good or bad until you start to read it. As soon as you see that it's a negative comment, you can kind of skip over it or delete it or ban them or whatever, but it sticks in your mind. Unfortunately, the human brain is really bad at just saying, you know what, pay no attention to that. It doesn't quite work that way. So yes, you can train yourself to get better and better about it. So I would say my ability to let those things just slide off me is pretty much like bulletproof now. Like people say all sorts of horrible things, whatever, like it doesn't really bother me anymore. For a new YouTuber, it's hard to read the comments and be told over and over all these horrible things about you because people on the internet are just ruthless and terrible. And I guess that's another component of it is as a YouTuber, you will lose some of your personal life. Unfortunately, some of your life will bleed into the YouTube channel itself. The unfortunate reality is people don't just watch the channel for the cars. If it was that simple, I could sit there and just show the cars and that's it, or just show working on them and that's it. But it's not that simple. People watch the channel for the human interactions. They watch it to watch me, they watch it to watch my wife insult me, they watch it to watch my friends. They want the human connection, they want that sort of human drama and emotion and whatever. That's what makes a good video. Like just showing a car and laying out facts, anyone can do that. It's not very exciting, it's not very interesting. People don't really find it all that appealing. But to provide some human side of the story, now you get that connection and that makes the video much more interesting. So I'm sure you guys might have some questions. Feel free to ask in the comments below. If you'd like me to talk about this some more, put some topics in the comments below. I can talk about some more. So I just wanted to thank all of you for subscribing to my channel and giving me the thumbs up. Those things do help out my channel. And honestly, I appreciate it so much that so many of you have been supportive of me for all of these years and you've bought products from me and services from me, and all those things have allowed me to do this for a living. Truly, it's an amazing experience. It's a dream come true, but it's not easy. So I don't want people to sit there and think, oh, being a YouTuber and switching over careers is easy. It's been the most difficult thing of my life. It's also been the most rewarding. It's been absolutely wonderful, and I wouldn't change any of it now for anything. This is what I want to do. I can see how I can make this be the career that I really want. And so I am giving it my all. Well, on that note, I do appreciate you guys for watching, so thank you so much. You are amazing. And we will have lots more car stuff coming away, so we will be working on the 509 as soon as I get these parts. In fact, I want to talk about the Gated 6 parts in the upcoming videos, so stay tuned for all of that. We're going to have a lot of cool car stuff coming your way, so you're going to want to stay tuned. It's going to be sweet.